Hello, and welcome to Experiencing Love. I'm your host, Philip Jacques, and I'm so glad that you're here. I'm coming down a bit to get eye to eye with you, to connect with you. I'm not wearing the sunglasses today because I'm feeling much more mellow. I was looking for inspiration on what to do next, what I wanted to record today, who I wanted to be, and I found it very difficult to do so. And maybe you could relate to what I'm about to say. Sometimes it could be really easy to feel like you're going through the same patterns. You're going through the same rhythms, the same moments. And having these habits, having these patterns is neither a bad nor good thing. Sometimes they're helpful and sometimes they're not. When they're helpful, it's amazing to keep doing what you're doing, following those patterns that are working. Yet, when they're not working, you have to get creative to find something different, to find a different way to do things. The problem I ran into earlier was I was trying to come up with new ideas, new methods, new strategies, new patterns, yet I wasn't changing anything in my life. I was just doing the same thing again and again and again. So my solution, and it's a quick solution that anybody can do, is to just change your environment. Switch it up. Go somewhere new, see something different, maybe even say something you've never said before. The point is to interrupt the patterns that we have in our life. When I was trying to come up with the idea for today's episode, I had nothing before. I had nothing in my mind, I had nothing on paper, and so I decided to just go for a walk. Rather than try one of the many methods that obviously weren't working, I decided to just get up and go. There's a few places in my life where ideas and creativity are quite plentiful. Some of those include right before bed, with the lights off and everything's dark. My mind works wonders sometimes. Also in the shower or on the toilet, or I guess in the bathroom in general. For whatever reason, ideas go crazy in there. But I also get them on walks. There's something about going on a walk and moving my body around, giving myself a bit more energy that activates different parts of my brain. That, coupled with seeing things I don't normally see, has a way of stirring the pot in my mind to give me exactly what I need. Honestly, when I chose to go on a walk before, I wasn't even thinking about the idea of inspiration. I just knew I felt restless and had a chance to move around, do something different. And then and only then did I discover this idea of inspiration and changing things up. I discovered it because I was doing it. And then, of course, I've thought about all the times that I did something like that and how it's helped me in so many different situations. And I just thought, you know what? I want to share this with people. Share this as a reminder that if things aren't working for you and you feel like you've tried everything, maybe a simple fix, albeit temporary, could be to just change your environment a little. Go for that walk. See that building or that house or that street you've never seen before, if you've never explored before. When I went outside, I not only went outside, but I made sure to walk in the middle of my street. Granted, it is nearly 1 a.m, so there was nobody out. And I got this different perspective to the one I usually get while on the sidewalk. On the sidewalk would have just been the same walk I've always been on, the same one I've experienced whenever I would go anywhere in town. But by walking in the street, well, that changes your view a bit. I noticed that the view I was getting was the one I would get in my car, obviously. But doing so at the pace of walking and really observing and seeing all the houses and the cars passing me by just really shifted my perspective and made me realize just how much I've been on autopilot lately and not noticing all these things. Autopilot is really cool. It's crazy, it's amazing that we're able to go into this state of mental energy conservation so that we do more with much less. But sometimes we get stuck using the same autopilot, the same patterns for problems that need something different, something we've never done before. I'm at this point in this month, in this year, in my life where I am embracing change at every corner. Every single time I feel up to it, I embrace it. As you can see behind me, I brought down this old keyboard that I've had in my attic and in my life for who knows how long, honestly. I can't remember a time when we didn't have it. I never really learned how to play, but recently I've had this desire to make music. I've always been fascinated by instruments like the piano or the guitar or the violin. I've always liked how each of those sounded. Even though I've never learned how to play, and I know I'm never going to be a child prodigy, because I'm much past the child stage. I do know it's not impossible for me to learn and for me to at least get to the beginner, maybe intermediate level. I brought this into my life because I wanted to switch things up a little bit. To start my mornings by messing around with the piano and playing a few keys and seeing what the music does to my mind and my body. I did it this morning and it was quite insightful, really. Seeing the keyboard and hearing the music reminded me of what I wanted to create. I wanted to create a life of creation, a life where I get to practice not just music, but art in general. I get to think back to the many days of my early childhood in school, and I guess even more so in high school, when some of my favorite classes were my art classes. Music was alright, but I remember taking drawing 1 and painting 2 and loving them, not because I got to sit around and talk to my friends, but because I actually loved the process of making art. When I think back to those days, I wonder why I didn't do it more. I don't have to wonder too hard because I know why. Back then, I never really stopped to ask myself questions about what I truly like to do, who I was, who I wanted to be, really. Back then, I had a path that I believed in, that I knew I had to follow, and it was one that had me on autopilot. I didn't question it. It took me about 5 years after these art classes that I took to really question myself, my path, what I truly like to do. I have a fun story from just about the time I was in 4th grade. I remember in the 4th grade, I decided I wanted to play an instrument at school. So I decided to sign up to play the trumpet. And I only lasted 3 weeks, but it was interesting how those 3 weeks went. I got a hold of an instrument, rarely practiced at home because, especially in 4th grade, that was when my younger brother was maybe a year old, not even. So there was no loud noise making in the house. And whenever we did the checkups at school and the practices, I ended up passing everything with flying colors. Honestly, in terms of getting the checkpoints done and getting these gold stars we had, me and one other person were the top of the class with perfect scores. I think at that point we had maybe 5 or 6 check-ins, or 6 practices, I guess. And right after that, I ended up quitting. I quit because I wasn't practicing at home, and I don't know, I didn't think I'd enjoy it all that much, so I stopped. I look back at that now, and I say it is so funny just how well that music came to me, and how, despite that, I just said, yeah, no thanks, I'm good. I just quit on myself, really. Maybe it's not so funny. When I was remembering the story earlier, I was cracking up. I was laughing my butt off. But right now, when I really think about it, I think maybe it is a shame that I didn't keep going. I didn't keep working on it. Granted, it was the trumpet, so it's not one of the many instruments that I'm trying to play now, but I also don't regret not following that path, because regret means that you wish something different happened. But I wished for everything to stay the same, because without everything that has happened, I wouldn't be where I am at right now. Yeah, it's been hard, but it's also been easy. There's been a lot going for me and a lot against me, and I learned so much, but I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing without everything that has led up to this point. So I like that part. And another thing about regret is that in order to actually feel regret, you have to be focused on the past. Recently, I was hanging out with my nephew and my family, and he was just being super adorable. And I was loving every second of it. And my mom and my sister started telling me, Philip, this is the moment you should pull out your phone and take pictures and take videos. These are the moments you're going to want to have later. And I told them simply, I'd rather be in the moment. I'd rather just be here with him. And so I didn't pull out my phone. I just hung out, enjoyed seeing him, learning to walk. He's almost there. And I really gave it some thought later on and saying, maybe I will miss having those moments. Maybe I will wish I had pictures and videos. And maybe. We'll see. What I do know is that if all I want is those photos and videos for me to look at later, then that means I expect to miss these moments, meaning I almost want to relive them, which ultimately means I'm not living in the present moment. Because no matter what you say, no matter what you think, there's things to pay attention to right now. There's people with us right now. I know it may be hard to lose someone, and it doesn't just mean that they pass away, but it could mean that they move away, they change, they grow up. You may miss different versions of them, but if you're too busy missing something that's no longer there, you're not giving yourself the space or the opportunity to see what's in front of you right now. They may be gone, that version may be gone, but there is someone in front of you that isn't. There's someone in front of you that has walked into your life. We could say goodbye and then miss that person, or we could use that goodbye as a launch point to say hello to someone just as incredible, maybe even more incredible. That's why I'm not afraid to not take pictures and videos. I take pictures and videos for the reason of showing someone else something that I may want them to see or understand. Something like these private, intimate moments with family members is not something I need to show to the world. There's plenty of photos and videos out there that my family is taking. So it's not like me not taking pictures will mean that they get lost forever. Instead, I want to be here, be present with everybody that I'm with. I don't need to take a selfie to commemorate a moment. I rather look into your eyes and see a smile on your face, knowing that if I want to see more smiles, I have to give more smiles. One day your smile will be gone. But that doesn't mean all smiles are gone. It just means I either have to make you smile again or I have to make someone else smile. Sometimes all it takes to come up with these different mindsets or different perspectives is a shift in your point of view. Do something a little bit different. Do something you haven't done in a while, or do something you've never done before. Maybe that means doing a handstand outside against a tree. I guarantee that you've rarely looked at your world around you upside down. And if you have, well then go somewhere different and do a handstand. Enjoy seeing grass as the ceiling. Enjoy seeing clouds as the floor. Do something different to get something different. That's what I'm here to do today. So I thank you for connecting with me. I thank you for hearing me out. And if you did enjoy this type of mellow episode, make sure to leave a like, leave a comment down below. And don't forget to subscribe. It really does let me know that you enjoy what I'm making and you want me to keep making these videos. So until we meet again, just remember to always fill up with the love. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one. I love you.